There's the stall set up for the day. We've got hen's eggs for £1. Duck eggs are normally £2, but we haven't got any. We've been wiped out. I've put some asparagus in there, just 10, and I've put those for £2. Don't know how that sounds. And then some rhubarb, 3 for £2. I normally have pies and things on here, or at least I did last year, but I haven't yet because I haven't had time.
My first job on the menu today is to fix up this pen that we've got here at the back of the barn. It's a 4 metre by 7 metre pen that's just been meshed. I don't know what it was, a polytunnel or a fruit cage or what. We just acquired it a few years ago, but looking in a bit of a sorry state. We've had all sorts in here over the time we've had it, ducks, chickens, turkeys, which took a bit of a battering in the last storm, and now it's looking a bit of a mess. So I'm going to get that all fixed up, tidied up. I'm going to repair one of these old chicken coops and put that in there, and then we'll get all the hens together that are in little spots around the place, and we'll put them all together in here so we know where they all are. So I'll get to that now.
Today I wanted to be outside, working outside and getting all the things done in the beds. Walked outside and the heavens opened. It's literally just stopped. So I'm in the greenhouse taking shelter and I'm having a mammoth sowing session. So I've literally got so many seeds to get through sowing. I think it'll probably be easier actually if at the end I just give you an overview of everything that I've done. Really excited about these. So there's all the things going in, and it's just going to build up in here and just be like a little nursery of its very own. But the rain that's just come down, to be honest, is much needed, and it didn't last very long, and it's not cold, even though I've got like enough layers on to live in Alaska. I'll be too hot soon. So I'm going to get busy sowing, get all of these in, and then I can at least just keep them watered throughout the week. Obviously back to work this week, so I don't have to worry about getting that, and whenever it's nice on an evening I'll be able to get working outside as well. So very appreciative to be able to get all these seeds in and have a nice calm hour or so. And I thought I'd better stop myself because it's going to be bedtime at the rate I'm carrying on in here. I've had a lovely time getting all the seeds in. I'm not done, but I've got other things that I need to get on with right now, and I've got a couple of things that I want to update you on as well. So let me show you what I've done, then I can go and get all the things that need doing, because the greenhouse needs doing. We agreed that, remember? I can get those done, and then I can come back and tell you what I've been waiting to tell you. This isn't everything, but look at this. There's a couple obviously in there. I'm not such a speed demon that these have already germinated. They were from the other day. But look, we have got lots of beans. So yellow, green and purple beans. This is turnip because I want to grow some direct into the ground, and I want to have some, these are multi-sown, some on the plug plants ready to get in, just to compare really and see how they get on. 2 different types of lettuce. This one is a really almost black, which I just thought was going to be fantastic. This is a Kos variety. 2 different types of kohlrabi. This one is supposed to be, that's not misspelt, it's not supposed to say giant, that's actually what it says on the packet. And purple Vienna. I have resown some of the autumn crown squash, whatever they were called. No, I tell a lie, I haven't. These were the squash that you saw that were dried out the other day. We've got some lazy housewife beans. These are brassicas, so we've got tree cabbage, calabrese and stromboli. This is an F1, this stromboli, but it was fantastic last year, so I was really pleased with that. This is a Wongbok cabbage, a few seeds in there, so hopefully they'll come up and then I'll prick them out. These are the Table King seeds that I planted the other day. Let's go back along here. So we've got spaghetti squash, Pissandra cucumber, so they're doing really well just since yesterday. The Greek gigantes beans, delicata squash, cauliflower, different types of kale, which you can see there. Cabbage, pak choi, this is a quick head-in broccoli, mustard, tatsoi, more squash along there. Then we've got the courgettes. These are the squash that I already had sown that you saw. These are Jacob's drying bean. So this is for the winter pantry. So I've got 2 trays of those guys in. So I literally put them in, grow them and leave them to dry on the plant. Tender stem broccoli, the yin yang bean, just because I thought it was fabulous. How do you say that? They're a bean as well. I I think they were the melons. Were they the melons? And they are the gherkins and sugar snap peas. So really, I mean, this is literally, it's probably doesn't look that much on camera, but it's certainly taken me a good while. So I'm very pleased with how much I've got done. And over here, I've also got, this is American giant spinach. I've transplanted that. Some echinacea, had a lot more of that than I anticipated, but I've potted those on as well. And I need to get tidying up. These are the lettuce that can actually get planted out now. These beans I decided I didn't want because I didn't like how they were doing. Borlottis, all different things. Anyway, all of that needs tidying up. So I shall get on with that at some point, but not now. I can't believe what I've just done. Yes, that is fresh compost. I was trying to close the doors just to, you know, try and warm it up, keep the heat in a little bit, and the doors run along here. And when they pulled what was here off onto the floor. Anyway, I've managed to try and, it was the beans. Could have been so much worse. Could have been. Oh dear. Could have been so much worse. I think I've managed to get them back in the right cells. These ones all stayed intact. So whatever comes up in here, I know is correct. Whatever comes up in here, bit of a lucky dip. So I'm just going to leave those there for now, obviously, until they germinate. They don't need the light anyway. What an idiot. Anyway, Stephen's in the barn. We're going to go and see the lambs, get them fed, the ones that obviously Mama rejected. And also we've got something to do which they're not going to like. So we wring our lamb's tails. Stephen will take you through it. It's a process that we do. Not everybody does it, but I think you'll find the majority of people do it. And it needs doing early on at this age now. So although it might sound quite mean and people might question why it gets done, it does need doing for hygiene as much as for anything. As we're going into the summer months, if they've got long tails, it's places for the poo to get stuck and the flies to get on, and then you end up with all sorts of nasty things that can happen when flies are on sheep. We've actually got a video coming up on that in the next couple of weeks, probably on that one. Anyway, I'm going to go in the barn. We've got the milk bottles ready because the plan is we're going to give them, wring the tails, and then give them the milk so that they forget about the fact that they've just had the tails done. Stephen will take you through it now.
Like Tracy said, we're just about to dock the lamb's tails and do the other bits as well at the same time. We do them at the same time because it's one lot of stress rather than multiple times of handling them. We just use the rings. There's multiple ways you can dock the tails. We just use the rubber rings, so you just put it on this set of pliers here, and we just open it up, put the tail in, and put the ring around it, leaving, if you look, just leaving enough to cover the bum of the lamb, but then taking all that off. It's just to avoid getting all soiled. As you can see, it's already getting a bit soiled on the tail. The whole reason why we dock the tails here is just to prevent fly strike, because when they get all mucked up when they go out and the flies land on them, lay the eggs, and then maggots get in. We've already had one really disturbing case of that, which Tracy's mentioned. We'll go over in another video and stuff, but yeah, we don't want it to happen again. Some people disagree with it, others think it's the best thing to do, which is just the best thing to do for us. So they're going to have the feed, and we're going to do that to keep the mind off what I'm doing. So we've just ringed the tails. Takes like 10 seconds. As you can see, they're not bothered with the tails bit. We didn't show it just because some people don't like to see it going on. So they're on there. That's all it is. Then that'll just stop the blood flow down to the tail. And then in about 10 days time, that'll just drop off. So after they've had a drink, we're going to ring the testicles next, which will be a bit more stressful for them, understandably, but we'll let them have a drink first, get them a full belly so they're ready to rest, and then we'll do that. Obviously, the reason we do that is we don't want a intact tup running about at 6-month-old, jumping on the mothers and the other girls that they're related to.
I'll leave that for when you drink, when you're having it.
Right, who's going first? Well, I finished the pen. They've been in now maybe it's a couple of hours just to get used to it. I've just made one half decent coop out of 2 rubbish ones, so that'll get them away in there. Put a few sticks up for them to perch on and mess about in, and threw a bit of clean straw down on the floor for them. We did notice when we were putting them in that one of the hens that's been getting out all the time was not as perky as the rest, and I'm sure you can see the brown one there sat in the middle with her puffed up with her head down. So we'll just keep an eye on her. She doesn't look too healthy like so. We'll see. While we've been round here, we've just noticed one of our ewes is getting a bit uncomfortable and sniffing the air and laying down. So we're just going to see what she's like and get her in the barn, because it looks like she might be on her way to lamb as well.
Hey girl. How are you doing?
That's not even the one that's due next, is it?
No, she's got a very mucky back end. Can you check if she's facing me?
Let's catch her here and we'll get the scissors and just do it here.
Emptying herself, might well be. The other two are looking quite comfortable. One of the things on the list today as well is to actually clean this girl up, because she's been getting quite a mucky back end unfortunately, and that's not ideal at all for giving birth for obvious reasons. So we do need to catch her and get her cleaned up anyway, but even more so now if she's just starting to labour. She's curling her lip, she's panting quite heavily, and Stephen's just noticed the duck cage has come open, but the sheep haven't noticed thankfully, because they'd be in there eating their food, which actually might be why they've got a bit of a mucky bum. Now I'm stood, I'll spare you the image, but she's going to the toilet as we speak, and yeah, we need to get her cleaned up. I'll spare you that though. And then as Stephen says, we'll get them in the barn. Everything needs to be as clean and tidy as possible for a healthy birth. Whether she comes on now or not, we'll wait and see, but regardless, she needs doing. Oh dear. That's an old disused railway line. Well, I hope you enjoyed taking that little walk with us, and I've just tried to start filming this in the polytunnel, but the rain has started yet again, and I'm hoping that you can hear me, because I don't want to end up having to do this twice, because I don't want it to become scripted. So for those of you that don't know, this is our smallholding adventure. My name's Tracy, and my husband is a part of this as well, who's called Stephen. We've got 2 young children, and well, they're not so young now, they were young when we first started, and that's what I'm used to saying. And we live in the northeast of England, and this is our smallholding, and it's just an adventure. So the reason that I'm telling you this is because recently we have just managed to get 1,000 subscribers. Now it's taken me a little bit of time to get this video put together, just because I didn't want to do it literally as we hit 1,000 subscribers, in case people unsubscribed and they didn't like it. So we've got a little bit over now, so I'm absolutely so chuffed that we've managed to do that. So I just want to pop on and say thank you. I know I speak to a few of you in the comments regularly and on our other social media platforms as well, and I've thanked you individually in the comments, etc, for sticking with us, and apparently even enjoying some of it, which I just find amazing, fantastic. When we moved here to the Smallholding just over 6 years ago, I started writing a blog because by nature I'm a creative person and I really enjoy storytelling and writing, and essentially that's probably why I'm really enjoying doing the whole YouTube experience and creating the videos quite so much. And that's probably why you see me more than you see Stephen, because he's not as much of a dreamer and doesn't enjoy doing it as much as I do. Stephen's much more of a grounded person than I am. I'm the dreamer, and really that ties in nicely to the whole purpose of this video. So it is to say thank you, and it is to show you a little bit extra of what's going on the Smallholding. But as cliche as this sounds and as corny as this sounds, it's absolutely true. Dreams really do come true. And where I first learned that, really, I'll tell the whole story another time, but moving to a Smallholding was a dream of ours. Not many people thought it would ever come true. I always believed that it would come true. I'm a bit like a dog with a bone in that respect, and although I am a dreamer by nature, and Stephen is a very grounded person and he often puts his hand up and pulls me back down, and that's why we make such a good couple, but I didn't know that this would come true one day, that one day we would live on a Smallholding and do all of the things that we enjoy and we love to do. And there's different chapters to that story, and we're just in a different chapter than where we were 6 years ago right now. And another dream that's come true, as corny as it sounds again, is actually getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really didn't think that would ever happen. I didn't even know it was a thing when I first opened the YouTube channel. I didn't have a clue what a creator was, what all of these different things were that I'm now doing and absolutely loving. So I just want to let you know that I very much appreciate each and every subscriber, and also what's next to come. There's quite a few stories that I'd like to share with you, probably in this type of setup, where we can tell you about the run up to when we bought the Smallholding, the feelings that we had, what the experience was like, different things that happened at the time, all Smallholding related, and generally just share our experience with you. So we've had quite a few people get in touch and ask us lots of different questions, from how do you get started, what's it like, how do you do it when you're working full time as well, all of these good questions. And I think it would be great to answer some of those in the form of a YouTube video, sort of a Q&A session maybe. I don't know, we'll have a think. I've never done one of those before. Well, we absolutely will be documenting all of the next adventures on YouTube, the next chapter in our lives. We're going to continue to try and thrive at doing this. You might be able to hear the lambs. It's almost feeding time, so they're starting to shout for their feed. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I can ramble on forever, and I will tell our full story one day, but essentially the blog that I first started when we moved in 6 years ago helped me capture the journey of what we're doing here on the Smallholding, and YouTube is just helped me to do that even more. It's obviously, you know, it's more modern, it's the next natural step for moving with the times, I guess. So we will be continuing to document everything. We've got a whole host of dreams and ambitions and things that we would like to do, and I can tell you for one thing, next chapter absolutely involves living here, being as self-sufficient as we can, and taking that next step so that we don't both have to work full-time in paid jobs, as we call them, and that we can be here full-time, working for ourselves, earning enough money to support ourselves and to support our children moving forward. And one of the exciting things that we're going to be looking to do is try and get a big polytunnel up, because the one that I was sat in when I tried to start this video initially is dropping to bits. It was an eBay special. It's absolutely been fantastic for the last 6 years, but it has started dropping to bits, and Stephen's had to make quite a few repairs to it. And to be quite honest, it was of a size that was big enough to allow us to do what we wanted to do initially, and to see if that was something that we could do and that we enjoyed and that we were any good at, basically. And now we know absolutely that is what we want to do, and we want to just expand everything as best we can whilst working full time. There's going to be a bit of a transition period there if we do ever get to that next chapter, which, being a dreamer, I know we will. And that's going to start with getting a really big polytunnel, hopefully down where the pigs are. Look out for that later in the year or even next year. I'm not going to commit to anything because we really don't know when that will happen, but all of the things towards that self-sufficient journey will be captured here on YouTube, and I'd love you to come along for the ride. I don't think there's that many Smallholding or Homestead UK channels. There's quite a few, and they're absolutely fantastic, and I really enjoy watching quite a lot of them. But when you compare to what's available in the likes of America, the homesteading channels, we're just in the minority. So any support that you guys can offer is absolutely fantastic, whether that's watching our YouTube videos, whether that's joining us as a Patreon supporter, whether it's just sharing our content, just commenting and being a part of it. Every little bit is just helping us grow so much, and it's every single part is really appreciated. And really that's why I started this video off with the honesty box at the front of the house, because that's the mini version of what we want to do, and that is then going to be expanded, and who knows where it might lead to, whether it's a physical farm shop, whether it's something from the small holding, whether it's just making enough money for us to live here and not supply anybody else, who knows. But what I do know is that it's going to absolutely be bigger and better and stronger than what we've already got, and I really just can't wait. So as I say, when we moved here, not everybody thought that we would even ever get to own a small holding or to run a small holding, that we would be able to do it, that we'd financially be able to do it, mentally, that we would lose interest after so long. Well, all of those things are now water under the bridge, because it's happened. We're thriving, we're loving it, and we're even making a go of this whole YouTube experience. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting us. If you're interested in any other ways that you can support us, check out the description below. And I know that a few of you have signed up to Patreon. I don't know if you're comfortable with me putting your names on the screen, so I'm not going to do that yet, but do let me know. I just want to say really a huge thank you. I'm honestly so grateful, and I can't wait to share the next few chapters of our lives with you. Take care for now. Thanks for watching, and from everybody at our small holding adventure, we'll catch you later. Stephen's much more of a grounded person than I am.
Which the kids find hilarious as sin, but that will might.
A bit of a dream. It's the small version now, and that's the train. And generally just share our Would it be really cheesy to say 1,000 thank yous? I think it would. You've got to have dreams though, right?